Lindsey Adelman is, I first met her as an industrial designer, predominantly a lighting designer, and it's been wonderful to watch the evolution of her work over the years. Maybe I'll bring up the first slide because it's so pretty, and how she's turned to other creative media such as drawing, and I think I will let her explain. But I think that again, the meticulous attention with which she has. She approaches her work, especially in industrial design, which is such a where there's kind of a focus on mass production. That she actually has, her approach has become much more intimate, has become much more local.
That was a great lead-in, because what I selected to show today is basically the work of from the current work and the very recent work in the past year or two that really relates to time. It's funny to see this wiggling. This is an example of a series of drawings that I've been working on for a few years that are quite obsessive in nature. And really in entering the state of creating them, it's very much like stopping time or holding on to time in a sense, or creating a timeless space where I can sit down and continue to do the same marks over and over and over, and it's so different from the rest of life. It's almost taking a vacation from time to do this straight for 8 hours or so. And I'll show you some more. And in a way, it's quite difficult to sit, and other things come up when you sit alone with a piece of paper and only a pen. It's sort of reductive, sort of, I guess, eliminating distraction, and also, in most cases, eliminating color, or just using one color and graphite and paper. But the process is really almost facing oneself in a way, and sort of, as my friend says, push through the burn, because you have these moments where it is a meditative process, yet still is quite challenging to sit and finish a project like this. And this is a combination of some of my drawings up top, that's entitled Moss, combined with some of my lighting work, which uses similar elements of repetitive organic form. And this work uses a combination of material, both gouache and graphite, as well as human hair, which is another part of my work. And I'll show you more examples of that. This is an example of hair embroidery, and I collect hair from family and friends. I have a hair library of Ziploc baggies that are all labeled. And my tools are really just tweezers and X-Acto and paper. And it kind of began by thinking about what we can commonly find in, say, a junk drawer. And through basically giving attention and labor and time to something, it can transcend what it is. And these are, this is all hair, and this is constructed by putting strands of hair down on individual labels that are clear. So in a way, the process is really rooted in my industrial design background, where it's creating these individual units that are very repetitive over a period of months, and then those get shelved. And then when they come out a few months later, I assemble them into these drawings. And I think what I enjoy about it is, from a distance, it looks quite precise, or it looks maybe like graphite. And then when you get up close, you realize you can see the variation in color, you can see split ends, you can see the imperfections, you could see a fingerprint. I try to be really clean, but there's always lint or something from the studio flying into it. This is another one of all hair and archival tape on paper. And here's a project where I did an installation of hair wallpaper. And I started thinking about how I could translate some of the concepts I was working with in the art world and bring them into the design world. And again, repetitive, they're decals, and they were installed in a wall. So each one is different because it's impossible to make them the same. And in creating the work, it led me to make a video that would be shown in conjunction with the drawings. And this was really because the process was so important to me, and I wanted to create kind of a fictitious sort of utopian world of crafters, which I did. And we had certain rituals like tea being served. There's the hair, taking it apart and wrapping it around spools. My friends participated in the video and designed costumes and a little bit of, like, there's a choreographed rhythm to it, and then taught my friends how to create hair drawings. So we did some embroidered pieces where each of them brought their own baggie of hair, and then they took the hair and tied it end to end and wrapped it around spools, and then we would use it to, I would put it, thread these long strands of hair and create some embroidered pieces. And this is the installation. So the video is projected large, and these are next to some of the hair drawings. Those are about 4 feet tall, those hair drawings. And we had some special superhuman exercises as well that we did. That's part of that video. And as I continue to try to adopt some of these concepts of repetitive mark making and organic form, and thinking about how to bring again this into the design world and into domestic wares, and I recently have been doing work that where I'm using images such as barnacles, moss, cracks, fungus, that type of thing, all really markers of time and speed, and thinking about how they attach themselves onto objects like cell phones. And also looking for other patterns to perhaps do hair embroidery with, again, markers of time, really. And so this barnacle shape relates to the chandelier design that I'm involved with, which is, my background is in lighting design, and I had a company for 5 years, and we did primarily very affordable lighting, and in paper and materials like that, which I still am proud of the work I did then, but it's where I've gone with lighting is so different in fact that I'm much more interested in the relationship I have with the client and with the people who are making the work. Like, for instance, I use New York-based machinists and metal finishers and glass blowers, etc. And so the process itself feels like almost a different industry entirely, where it's really face-to-face dialogue, which can be challenging, but that the work can evolve based on the dialogue between the people making it, and that the designs are also evolved and shaped by the client's dreams or desires, or even problems they've had with past lighting and requirements, and yeah, so it's gone to places that I really would never have been able to do it on my own without that kind of dialogue. And this is putting one together in studio. And one thing I have thought about is how basically before the Industrial Revolution, how design, usually if you saw an object, the designer was the maker, and they would almost always know who they were making it with, and usually no two objects were ever alike. And I feel like I've gone back to that in a way. And with the chandeliers, I think I strive for this place that's in between, or a combination of modernism and wabi-sabi. And modernism is really shown in the hardware, where it's these precise, modular, pristine forms, and then it's combined with the wabi-sabi aesthetic of organic, uneven glass. Nothing, the bowl sort of celebrates that as opposed to the rectangle. And we're doing a lot of custom glass as well right now, and more site-specific work now as well. And I think on that note, I will pass it on. Thank you.